Hello, devoted fans of Days of Our Lives. Welcome back to another electrifying edition of TV Days Drama Digest, where we dive deep into the tangled web of romance, betrayal, and jaw-dropping revelations that define our beloved soap opera. Today, we're turning the spotlight on a character whose name alone sends shivers of anticipation through the heart of Salem, Dimitri von Leuschner. Is it time for this enigmatic bad boy to make his grand re-entrance? Has he been ensnared in Gwen Rizika's cunning schemes, or is he poised to unleash a tidal wave of chaos upon his return? Buckle up, because we're about to unravel the drama, dissect the secrets, and speculate on what Dimitri's comeback could mean for the residents of Salem. A ghost from the past, Dimitri's shadow looms large. Dimitri von Leuschner is no stranger to controversy. With his brooding charm, razor-sharp intellect, and a penchant for stirring up trouble, he's left an indelible mark on Salem's history. His departure from the canvas was anything but quiet, marked by scandal, heartbreak, and a prison sentence that promised to keep him out of sight, but never out of mind. Now, whispers of his name are echoing through the streets of Salem once more, igniting speculation among fans. Is this the perfect moment for Dimitri to storm back into our lives? The timing couldn't be more tantalizing. Salem is already a powder keg of secrets, with relationships teetering on the edge of collapse and alliances shifting like sand. Dimitri's return would be like tossing a lit match into the mix, setting off a chain reaction of emotional explosions. But what's driving this renewed interest in Dimitri? Could it be Gwen's machinations, or is there a deeper, more sinister force at play? Let's dive into the heart of the drama and explore the possibilities. Gwen's web of deception. Is Dimitri her pawn or her king? Gwen Rizika, the cunning vixen of Salem, has never been one to shy away from a scheme. Her recent conversation with Kristen Mera dropped a bombshell that has left fans reeling. Gwen is still legally married to Dimitri. That's right, despite his incarceration and their tumultuous history, the divorce papers were never signed. This revelation is a game-changer, not only for Gwen, but for everyone caught in her orbit. As Kristen's jaw hit the floor, Gwen leaned into her role as the wronged yet determined wife, declaring that her status grants her access to Dimitri's vast fortune, a fortune that could reshape the power dynamics in Salem. But let's pause and consider the implications. Gwen's insistence that she remains Dimitri's wife isn't just about money. It's a power play, a calculated move to assert control over a man who has always been a wild card. Is she planning to lure Dimitri back to Salem, using their marriage as leverage to manipulate him? Or is this a desperate bid to hold on to a connection that has long since frayed? Gwen's history suggests she's not one to act without an agenda, and her mention of Dimitri's name feels like the opening salvo in a much larger battle. Kristen, ever the skeptic, pointed out the obvious. Dimitri might not be thrilled to learn that Gwen is still clinging to their marriage. "He'll divorce you the second he's out of prison," Kristen warned, her voice dripping with disdain. But Gwen's response was defiant, almost gleeful, as she doubled down on her claim. "I'm his wife, Kristen," she said, her eyes glinting with ambition. "And that means I hold the keys to his empire." This exchange has sparked a firestorm of questions. Is Gwen delusional, or does she know something about Dimitri's plans that we don't? Could her confidence stem from a secret deal struck behind bars, or is she simply bluffing to keep Kristen off balance? The Havi and Leo Dimitri triangle. A love story on the brink. If Gwen's schemes weren't enough to stir the pot, Dimitri's potential return also threatens to upend one of Salem's most compelling new relationships, Havi and Leo. The chemistry between these two has been a highlight of recent episodes, a slow-burn romance that's captured the hearts of viewers. But the shadow of Dimitri looms large, casting doubt on their future. Javi's recent discovery of a secret Leo's been keeping, a secret tied to Dimitri, has already driven a wedge between them, and the fallout could be catastrophic. Leo's confession to Javi was a moment of raw vulnerability, a rare glimpse into the heart of a man who's often hidden behind a facade of wit and charm. The details of the secret remain murky, but its connection to Dimitri suggests a betrayal that cuts deep. Was Leo involved in Dimitri's schemes before his imprisonment? Did he play a role in the events that led to Dimitri's downfall, or is there a more personal connection that he's been hiding? Javi's reaction was a mix of hurt and anger, his trust in Leo shaken to its core. "How could you keep this from me?" he demanded, his voice trembling with emotion. Leo's response was equally charged, a plea for understanding that only deepened the mystery. The reemergence of Dimitri's name in this context feels like a ticking time bomb. If Dimitri returns to Salem, his presence could reignite old wounds and unresolved feelings. Was Leo once in love with Dimitri, or was their relationship purely transactional? Could Dimitri's return drive Javi and Leo apart, or will it force them to confront their issues head-on? Fans are buzzing with theories, with some speculating that Dimitri might still hold a torch for Leo, setting the stage for a love triangle that could rival the most iconic in Days of Our Lives history. The fortune at stake, Dimitri's wealth and power at the heart of this drama lies Dimitri's fortune, a vast empire of wealth and influence that has always been a double-edged sword. Gwen's claim to this fortune is a bold move, but it's also a dangerous one. Dimitri is not a man to be trifled with, and his time in prison has likely only sharpened his ruthless edge. If Gwen is banking on using their marriage to secure her financial future, she may be underestimating the man she's dealing with. Dimitri's wealth isn't just about money, it's about power. His connections, his secrets, and his ability to manipulate those around him make him a formidable player in Salem's game of chess. If he returns, he's unlikely to sit idly by while Gwen lays claim to what's his. The question is, will he see her as a partner in crime or an adversary to be crushed? Their marriage was never a love story for the ages. It was a union born of convenience, ambition, and mutual distrust. Gwen's refusal to divorce him suggests she's playing a long game, but Dimitri's unpredictable nature could turn her plans to ashes. Kristen's reaction to Gwen's revelation adds another layer of intrigue. As a DiMera, Kristen knows a thing or two about power plays and family fortunes. Her shock at learning Gwen's status as Dimitri's wife wasn't just about the marriage, it was about the implications for her own schemes. Kristen has her own agenda in Salem, and Dimitri's return could either bolster her plans or derail them entirely. Will she ally with Gwen to keep Dimitri in check, or will she work to undermine them both? The possibilities are endless, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The case for Dimitri's return, why now? So, why is now the perfect time for Dimitri to re-enter the Days of Our Lives narrative? For one, Salem is in desperate need of a shakeup. The current storylines, while gripping, have settled into a rhythm that Dimitri's chaotic energy could disrupt in the best possible way. His return would force every character to confront their past choices and future ambitions, creating ripple effects that could reshape the entire canvas. From a storytelling perspective, Dimitri's comeback offers endless possibilities. His unresolved ties to Gwen, Leo, and others provide fertile ground for drama, while his fortune and criminal past open the door to new conflicts and alliances. Imagine Dimitri striding back into Salem, his prison jumpsuit replaced by a tailored suit, his eyes burning with determination. Would he seek revenge on those who betrayed him? Would he try to reclaim his fortune from Gwen, or would he have a new agenda entirely? The potential for explosive confrontations, heartfelt reconciliations, and shocking betrayals is limitless. Fans have been vocal about their desire to see Dimitri return, with social media buzzing with hashtags like #BringBackDimitri and #SalemNeedsVonLuskner. The recent mentions of his name in the show feel like a deliberate tease, a signal that the writers are laying the groundwork for his comeback. And with Gwen's bombshell about their marriage, the stage is set for a return that could redefine Days of Our Lives for years to come. The counterargument: should Dimitri stay gone? Of course, not everyone is convinced that Dimitri's return is a good idea. Some fans argue that his story has run its course, that bringing him back risks rehashing old conflicts without adding anything new. Salem is already crowded with larger-than-life characters, and adding another could dilute the focus on existing storylines. There's also the question of whether Dimitri's return would overshadow the progress made by characters like Javi and Leo, whose relationship has been a breath of fresh air in the show's narrative. There's also the practical matter of Dimitri's prison sentence. While soap operas are notorious for bending the rules of reality, his early release would require some creative storytelling. Was he pardoned? Did he escape? Or is there a darker explanation, like a deal with a shadowy figure in Salem's underbelly? These questions would need to be addressed to make his return believable, and not all fans are convinced the writers can pull it off without resorting to cliches. The verdict: a return worth waiting for. Despite these concerns, the case for Dimitri's return is stronger than ever. His presence would inject a much-needed dose of unpredictability into Salem, forcing characters to confront their pasts and make impossible choices. Gwen's revelation about their marriage adds a layer of intrigue that's impossible to ignore, while the potential fallout with Javi and Leo promises emotional fireworks. Whether Dimitri returns as a hero, a villain, or something in between, one thing is certain: his comeback would be must-see TV. So, what do you think, Days fans? Is it time for Dimitri von Leusner to reclaim his place in Salem? Will he fall into Gwen's trap, or will he outsmart her at her own game? And what does his return mean for Javi and Leo's fragile romance? We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.